Good morning, it's Shanna. First of all, a couple of different things. If you can hear weird banging or other strange noises, that is my husband working in the garage, and I'm literally right above the garage where I'm sitting, so hopefully you can't hear it, but if you can, that's what that is. Secondly, I already started this video, and about, 2 minutes in, I realized I was picking my nails, which is a really bad habit, but so I grabbed this little worry stone and I thought I would use it. I saw Marlene Theresa in one of her last videos using one, and I feel like someone else was doing it too. Anyway, it's a great idea. So until I have a deck here to play with, I'll use this. But today's video, I wanted to do a VR to Marlene. She did an everyday carry tarot. Although I don't know if it was necessarily specific. It was probably specifically tarot. And that's what I'm doing today. So everything will be linked below. I don't know if I even need to say that anymore, but I guess that's what we do. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decks here. Full disclosure, I do have a deck in my bag. That I just carry with me everywhere. And I never really use it because it's not really my favorite deck. So maybe this video will help me pick a better deck that I can slide into my purse and keep with me, just to have. So all of that being said, let's start with this guy, the Llewellyn Tarot. I know I've mentioned this one before in the past. It's one of my top favorites. I don't know if it's top 5 or 10 or who knows, but I would definitely classify it as a favorite. But honestly, this one feels like this one's very specifically January to me. And I think because it's such a favorite, I would feel weird reading for other people with it. And saying that out loud, I'm realizing I feel a little precious with this one. I don't think I would read for other people with this one. And I definitely wouldn't pull it out in like a restaurant or anything like that and put it on the table, because that would just gross me out. So, okay, that was a really, really, really quick elimination. Llewellyn Tarot is a no for everyday carry. Also, I will say, regardless of what deck I choose, I will definitely need some kind of carry method for it, because just putting it in the box in my bag is not preferable for me. I don't like the idea of dinging up the boxes, and I mean, I guess if it's a mass market deck, I might, but I would be inclined to purchase a backup deck or keep the one that I use at home, and then I would probably purchase a second one for my bag. Yeah, I like to keep them nice and pretty, so that would probably drive me nuts. Anyway, that one's a no. Okay, so this one, I know. I feel like most people are pretty precious with this one, which I don't blame you. This is the 10th anniversary edition. It's not the indie edition, and I'm okay with that. So I guess I feel a little less. Okay, no, I definitely feel precious with it, and I definitely wouldn't buy a backup of this because it's kind of expensive. I could see using this one, like if I went on vacation, or like, I went to visit family, somewhere where I guess it was safe, where I knew there would be like a clean place to lay the cards. I could do that with this, but I can't honestly say I would use this as an everyday carry. In my head, I think this would be a really cool deck to have as an everyday carry, because I mean, how cool would this be to pull out this deck, if you're at a restaurant or at the park or just at a friend's house and you pull out this deck, like how cool is this? But also, I feel like for anyone who doesn't know tarot, I feel like they would have a hard time getting anything out of the images. So, although to be honest, ooh, okay. Okay, so I'm sort of going off the rails here because this is supposed to be an everyday carry. That's the whole point of the tag. But I've been thinking a lot about Candy Soul and Soil's soul stories. And if you haven't watched those videos, I highly suggest. They're so good. Like every single one she's done. I feel like this could be an amazing deck for that. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Okay, wow. I just found a job for this deck. And this is the Tyldwick Tarot. So no, this is not an everyday carry. Also, did I just... Yeah. But this would be a fantastic Soul Stories deck. Ooh, okay. Because I'll be honest, the deck, the very first Soul Story she did, she used the Stretch Tarot. And I've been eyeing that deck. I've gone back and forth to make playing cards multiple times and watched a couple walkthroughs. And I'm tempted by that deck, but there's a couple cards that just kind of rub me the wrong way, I guess. And so I haven't purchased it. And also I feel like that's sort of like, that's Candy's Soul Story deck. So this one would be cool for that. All right, that's a no for the everyday carry, but a yes for a Soul Stories deck. Also, I need to find a place to do said Soul Stories. Okay, so this is the one that I currently have in my bag. I feel like it's obvious why. It's in a tin. The cards are protected. It's small. I feel like even if you don't know tarot, you kind of understand. Okay, maybe not. I guess if the idea of tarot doesn't make you nervous and you're willing to sit with the images, whatever images you've pulled up. And I mean, this is for like the querent. If the querent doesn't really know tarot, but it doesn't freak them out, I think this would be a great deck. Obviously, there's a lot of images that, you know, when you don't know tarot, and we all know, you know, these are going to be ones that kind of freak people out or whatever. So, but I don't like I don't like how small this is. It's nice to carry because it is small, but it's so annoyingly small. I don't really enjoy the shuffle. Like, it shuffles okay. But if I'm going to have an everyday carry tarot, I want it to feel like really good. And this one just feels like it's a bit of a struggle. Maybe it's because my hands are big. I don't know. Like, it's okay. It's just not my favorite. And the images are kind of boring. It makes for a super easy reading, but it's kind of boring. So anyway, that's what I currently have. So it's in the running, but you know what? I am super curious about the Wild Unknown in a tin. I have not ever had that deck. I've never really been interested in it, but because it's such like a first of its kind, I guess, I'm curious about it. And that might be a fun one to have where it's in a tin. So that one there just as a little side note. So this one I saw on Marlene's video, and this was one of, I think, 2 or 3 that she wound up choosing. And I could definitely see the potential behind this one. I love how it shuffles. It's kind of that classic deck. Or, you know, classic artwork. And I think this would be, well, other than a little bit of nudity. Yes. But I think, you know, for adults, if I'm with adult friends, I think this one would be really nice. And actually, I'm really liking this one a lot more than that. And I had the tin of this when I very, very first started back with tarot. I had the tin and I traded it. It was actually at the Tarot Symposium here in Portland a couple years ago, when Lisa Papez and Don Michelle hosted like a little meetup for everybody, and a lot of people brought decks to trade. That was one of the ones that I took. So that one was traded, but now that I'm looking at this might be good instead of the Smith-Waite. Does anyone have the tin of the Morgan Greer? And how does it shuffle? Because this is definitely not the same cardstock. Pretty sure. This one's much thinner. So I wonder how the tin version would shuffle. I'm curious. So if you have it, let me know how that shuffles. Because I could see this. I think this would be a fun one because it's bright and colorful. It would be easy for me to read even if I was distracted, you know, if there was like music going on or lots of people talking around me. I think I could still, you know, intuit some meaning behind each of the cards for whoever I was reading for without having to like focus too much on the cards. So that's a runner-up. But like I said, I would definitely need some kind of small wrap, I guess, where it was nice and snug around the cards. Because I don't think I would pack the box. But I do think I would probably grab a second copy just because I would be bummed if I used it to death and then for some reason it went out of print. So that's a runner-up, possibly. Okay, so I feel like another one, even though it's indie, I feel like this might be a fun one to do, especially if I was... Sorry, I was listening. Especially if I was reading and it was around Halloween time. This one just has really cool vibes, right? Like, and if I'm going to read tarot, oh my gosh, those smell good. Wonder why they smell good. Anyway, if I'm going to sit and read tarot with people, for people, I want it to be an experience. I want it to have kind of a vibe, you know? Not like a spooky vibe, but like a tarot vibe, right? And I kind of think that's what people expect when you give them a reading. But again, I feel like this one I'd have to be relatively selective for who I was reading this for because, yeah, I think this might freak some people out. For sure. But it would be a great Halloween deck. But probably not for everyday carry, right? Okay, so yeah, this one's a pass. Okay, next is the Great Outdoors Tarot. I really like this one. And I think it could be really good for a broad range of people. I like that it doesn't feel overly seasonal, right? Like we've got summer and fall and winter, or I don't know, not necessarily winter maybe, but icy anyway. This reminds me of my mom, minus the dog. I think she'd love to be a camp host. She loves camping. I think this would be a safe pick. I feel like this would be a deck that I would read, or, you know, use to read for someone who, maybe was tarot adverse. Just because, you know, all these people look friendly. Even the confronting cards look really, you know, they don't look scary. So I think this would be a safe bet. but I don't really feel like it has that tarot vibe, right? Like if I sat down with this, I don't feel like it would emanate, I guess, the energy that I would want for a reading for someone else. I feel like you would take this maybe for like family vacation, like a family reunion vacation, where like Aunt Hilda wouldn't care and Uncle Frank wouldn't care. No one would be offended by it. I think even, you know, if you had more conservative family members or friends, this one would be a safe pick. And I'll be honest, I'm not really a safe pick kind of person. I don't really want to play it safe. I want the vibe. And if they don't like it, well, then they can just go kick a rock, I guess. So that's a no for me. Okay, next, Phantasma Tarot. I think this one would be fun. Definitely has that kind of fantastical. I think you could get that tarot vibe from this. I don't know why I'm setting these down. Like, seriously, my hand has probably been in the way the whole time, and I just looked up and realized. But, well, okay, how about that? Is that helpful? No, because you don't want to look at it crooked. Well, we're just going to do it like this. Okay. So when I want this everyday carry, it does come in a nice hard box. But this is definitely one I would have a second copy of, because it's a Paulina Fay, and I have all of hers. So I would definitely not want to ruin a box. I feel like this would be a good spring read deck. I guess my point being that this doesn't feel so much of, you know, as an everyday, as more of a spring reader. So, like, I can't really imagine pulling this out in October and reading for, you know, for people, or like December, or even July. I can't. So no. Love this deck, but it would not be an everyday carry for me. Okay. Well, okay, I have one more, I guess. The Llewellyn Tarot. This one, I'm really glad I have, because I never wanted to get it until, I think it was last summer. And it's not, you know, I don't really like the backs, like brown and gold, meh. But the artwork's really pretty, and the whole reason I purchased it was because I wanted to do a reading for someone. Someone asked if I wanted to get together, do a reading for each other, like at a coffee shop. So I wanted to choose something that I felt would resonate with this person, and this is the one I chose. And I'm really glad I did, because it fit their vibe very, very succinctly. But now that I've done that, this deck reminds me of that person, and that's not a bad thing. And actually, maybe that would be a good reason to use it as an everyday, to sort of clear it of that energy from the person. I wonder what it would look like trimmed, but kept, you know, with the titles kept on. I bet I could do that. I guess if I'm going to do it, I should do it now before it goes out of print. Because if I hate it, I can buy it again. Let's see. I could totally do that. I'd probably take the tops off, but I would leave the bottom. That might be my next project. So yeah, this might be a good everyday carry. Just find a cute wrap to go with it. Although I will be honest, because this is Welsh mythology, I believe. And I'm not, you know, my history, my background, my family is not Welsh. So I guess if I'm reading for others, that doesn't really matter, does it? And to me, this doesn't like, I'm not, you know, when I look at these cards, I don't see Welsh mythology because I'm not super familiar with it. So I guess that wouldn't be a big deal. I think I could. So do I think people could get something out of this? A querent. I do think people could get something out of this. And I don't think there's any, what, adverse cards? Is that the right word? I mean, that's not really very spooky. That's not super scary, right? So this is a good runner-up. I can see this as being a runner-up. Okay, well, so now we've got the Llewellyn. I wish Llewellyn came in at 10. How cool would that be? And the Centennial, Rider-Waite, Smith. I always call it Rider-Waite, but then I feel bad for leaving Smith off, so I always awkwardly add in Smith. Because she deserves to have her name said, right? So, which of these would I choose? Honestly, I feel more inspired by this one than I do the Centennial. I almost wonder, I know, you know, people have bought the tins off of Amazon and put some decks in. Maybe I could find one that would fit this, a trimmed version of this. Because I do really like this, and I could see carrying that around. I'm kind of bored of this one. Like, I do like it, and I like having the classic around. But mostly, like, I have one full-size version of this, and I keep it mostly, like, as a study deck. You know, if I want to compare one of the non-traditional, if I want to compare it to Rider-Waite Smith, that's the one I use it for. So, and then this one, I don't know, I feel like I don't know. I guess it would depend. I don't know. I feel like the nudity cards kind of throw me. I'll be honest. Like, not me, like, I don't mind reading with it, but I feel like if I pulled it out and I was reading it for, like, someone I didn't know very well, I think I would get flustered. Or I guess, I think I would feel bad not knowing whether or not they were offended by it. So as an everyday carry, though it's not like I read for people, I don't read for people. So if I was just somewhere on my own at a park bench, you know, I don't think I would use this one because it's so bright. I feel like if I was sitting by myself on a park bench, doing a reading for just myself, I think because they're so bright, I would feel like it would draw the attention of people, you know, around me. And I think that would be a deal breaker for me because I don't want people to know what I'm doing. Like, I want to do all these things, you know, read for myself at the park or go to the cemetery and do it. But if someone's stopping and being like, oh, tarot, versus this one where it's more subdued, sort of blends in with the surroundings, I think this one, surprisingly, might be the winner. Which is funny because this was the last deck that I picked for this VR, and I was like, oh, that's probably not going to be one that I pick, but I wanted to throw it in anyway. But yeah, I think this is the winner, you guys. The Llewellyn Tarot. For multiple reasons. I think the art is subdued enough that I would not feel like I was calling attention to myself. And once I trim it, I think I'll be able to find a tin for it and I can just throw it in my bag. I wonder if I could find a tin for it without it being trimmed. Because honestly, I I don't really want to trim it. Okay, well, these are all things that I can explore later. Anyway, I just wanted to go over that because actually it was funny. I thought maybe I shouldn't even do this, this VR because I already had one in my bag, right? But I'm really glad I did because now I actually found one that I feel like I can use. I wonder how tall I can get this without it focusing anymore. And the Llewellyn, the winner. Anyway, I will see you guys next week. Bye.